Are you wondering what made me to fly this plane? Keep watching to find out. In front of us is the QANTAS Founders Museum in Longreach, Queensland, Australia. Let's go in and find out why a QANTAS museum is existing in this outback town. Hi guys, welcome to this video about QANTAS Founders Museum in Longreach, Queensland, Australia. There is a gift shop and a cafe available, and all the facilities are wheelchair accessible. Plenty of free parking available on site. While going through the museum, I found why this is located here. It seems QANTAS, or else Queensland and Northern Territory Aerial Services Limited, was actually started here in Longreach when it was registered on 16th of November 1920. There are several tours you can do to explore the different aircrafts available, like Boeing 707, 747, DC-3. Each tour will give you a ticket similar to a boarding pass. Here you can see the tail section of a 747. This is the horizontal stabilizer jack screw which makes the plane ascend or dive. This is the aft bulkhead which helps to keep the pressure in the cabin. Longreach is in about 1177 kilometers from Brisbane, and it will take about 12 hours and 50 minutes to drive here. Some of the tours will give you access to areas of the planes where you normally would not see in an airport. This is the Boeing 747-238B with the registration number of VH-EBQ, City of Bunbury. This used to fly for QANTAS and Air Pacific from 10th December 1979 to 2002. These are the cargo loading areas. Next, we'll go to the cockpit.
So if I play with the control column, they move at exactly the same time and exactly the same way.
Yep.
Rudder pedals down in front of you. If I move mine, yours move as well.
Yeah, okay. This is quite stiff, right? Stiff.
Yeah, we've got the ailerons bolted into place.
Ah, maybe that is why.
So that's why that's not going to do much. I've got a rudder trim knob back here. If I turn that, you'll notice the rudder pedals move as well.
All right.
On the top of the rudder pedals is your brake pedals. So if you push forward on the top, that's your brake pedals.
Which ones?
So if you put your feet up on the rudder pedals and push forward on the very top of the pedal,
Right.
that's your brakes. To set your parking brake, you hold the brakes on, pull that lever. Now directly in front of either of us, we've got exactly the same display.
Yep.
So top and middle there is your virtual horizon. So blue is sky, brown is ground, yellow is your wings and your nose. To the left of that is your speedo, which is your speed in knots. And to the right of the virtual horizon is your altimeter, which is your height in feet above sea level. Below that one is the screen for TCAS, which is the traffic collision avoidance system.
Yep.
So that basically gives you a warning if another plane comes too close to the plane above or below. Give you directions to avoid a collision if they look like the two planes.
So TCAS was available even at this age? Like this is like one of the initial 747s, right?
Yeah, this is an early one, yeah.
Yeah, so even TCAS was there at that time?
Yeah.
Right.
We've got the heading dial there, and to the left of the heading dial, we've got a compass. Above that is DME, which is distance measuring equipment. So they use that if they can't navigate into an airport visually.
So it's digital, is it?
Yeah, that display is, DME display. Down the middle there is your engine and fuel monitoring. So engines 1, 2, 3, 4. Flap monitoring there. Got a standby virtual horizon there. That one shows us banking off to the left, and it would correct itself if we were to start the aircraft up.
Okay, that's fine.
Now across the top here is your autopilot controls.
Yep.
And then down beside your outside leg there, you've got a little screen.
Oh,
So that's
nice.
your radar screen for your weather radar.
These ones, okay. What is this one? Yes, your notes maybe.
That's for your charts. This handle on the wall here, which you'll notice yours is moving as well. That's the tiller for turning the nose wheel. So you'll notice they move in opposite directions at exactly the same time. That is because to turn the nose wheel towards yourself, you wind towards yourself, and to turn it away from yourself, you wind away from yourself. So basically you've got to imagine there's one of those in the middle. If you want to turn the nose wheel to the right, you'd be winding it towards the first officer and away from the captain. You want to turn it to the left, well, you'd be winding towards the captain and away from the first officer.
So no, I thought it's controlled by this, so it seems it's different.
The nose wheel is controlled by those,
Right.
and your control column is for banking in the air. So that's turning in the air, turning that to the left and the right. Now on the control column itself, you've got switches on the left-hand side on the captain's side.
Yep.
Those are for locking the tailplane into place. These wheels inside the pilot's inside legs are for setting the angle that you want for that trim. There's a trigger on the back of the outside stem, so on the left-hand side for you again. So the trigger on the back,
Oh, somewhere there?
that's for microphone control. So it's just, and yep, that's the one.
Oh, right.
So that's for your microphone controls. And then the little round button on the inside there is your autopilot disengage.
Right.
Now this here is the landing gear lever. So that's shaped like a wheel, so it's easier to find without having to search for it. Out and down for gear down, out and up for gear up. We're not going to put the gear up, of course. That's the first officer's job, to operate the landing gear. Flap lever is also shaped like a wing, so it's easier to find without having to search for it. Again, first officer's job to operate flaps, and you pull that back to extend the flaps. Speed brake there is your air brakes or spoilers on the tops of the wings, up and back to raise those. So I'll point those out to you when we're on the wing. The captain's job to operate those. This is your throttle or your thrust levers. So forward for more power, and engine 3 doesn't go very far forward because it's locked into reverse thrust for the demonstration that we do during our main jet tours. On takeoff, captain's right hand is on the top, first officer's left hand is on the bottom. They go forward at the same time. If an engine has an issue, first officer pulls that thrust lever back and starts shutdown procedure for that engine. On the front here, you got your thrust reversers or reverse thrust levers. Pull those up to engage reverse thrust. So yeah, engine 3 won't go very far, but 1, 2 and 4 will go all the way forward.
Okay.
Now up on the ceiling here, these are your landing light switches. They're shaped like lights, they're easier to find. Looking back to turn them on, forward to turn them off. 2 ignition switches per engine. Each pilot operates 2 engines. Forward is ground start, backward is flight start. 4 fire handles there, 1 per engine.
Fire is it? Yeah.
Pull that down. If there's a fire in the engine, shuts off the engine and releases a flame retardant into the engine. Behind those, down the ceiling, down the back wall, is all circuit breakers. They're ordered from most to least important. On the flight engineer's panel, he monitors pretty much everything. So all the way across the bottom is all engine and fuel monitoring. Red flap at the back there is where the controls for fuel dumping are. Up in the top corner here is controls for the APU.
But in modern days, you don't have
No
that,
flight
right?
engineer. Yeah.
So that they all controlled by the computer.
Yeah, all that monitoring is done by the computers now. So that's everything I need to explain up here.
What are these stuff?
So this handle is for pulling yourself forward as the pilot when you get into your position you need to be in.
What are these, like?
And those
some
are for
wires?
the windshield heating. So the windshield doesn't fog up.
And you can open these, I guess, right?
Yeah, you can open up the little side ones. That's for getting the charts and things and the fuel charts and everything.
I got another question for you. Do you know what is the longest non-stop airborne commercial passenger flight is? Is it the Singapore Airlines Flight 23 from New York to Singapore using the Airbus A350-900 ultra-long-range aircraft, which takes about 18 hours and 50 minutes? What do you think? This is the crew resting area, following the business class seating. Regarding the longest flight, no, it is something you will not believe. The longest flight airborne time is 32 hours and 9 minutes and was the double sunrise service operated by QANTAS, which got the name because the passengers saw sunrise twice while airborne. It was the only regular air service to Australia across the Indian Ocean. These flew between Koggala Lake in Ceylon, now Sri Lanka, and Swan River in Perth, Australia, and used a plane called Catalina Flying Boats. The record holder longest flight took place on 30th of August in 1943. Now we are going past the economy class section of the aircraft towards the wing to do a walk on the wing.
So you got 6 spoilers.
I am super excited, guys, since this is only possible legally in very few locations in the world. And then back of it is the flap.
And yeah, the flaps are back here.
Last.
That one out there is a low speed aileron. Very rarely use that one.
Okay. And then at the end there's the lights, is it?
That bit sticking off the back is the high frequency antenna. So that's your high frequency radio. That's your long range communication on this aircraft. And you can see a tube sticking off the back there as well is the fuel valve.
Right. So all these things are connected and you can dump from that same. I feel this flight, which flew from Sri Lanka to Australia, will hold the record for many years to come until we start interplanet commercial passenger flights.
700k straight out to the east is Rockhampton. About 400k's that way as the nearest McDonald's. And 1200k's out to the southeast is Brisbane.
Out to that side. And all these planes are museum properties, eh? Like that one. Any commercial ones that people are using at the moment? Like those?
So we do get a flight a day from Brisbane. Yeah, and that's the runway out there. That's the turn.
So when is like they arrive early in the morning or?
Depends on the day. Today was a morning flight, so it's about 11 o'clock. It's usually mid-morning or mid-afternoon. Sundays are late afternoon.
I am proud that this record is between my motherland and my homeland. Let this video be a tribute to QANTAS for their 101 years of service. See how massive these wings are? If you are in the area, make sure you pay a visit to the QANTAS Founders Museum and enjoy, especially if you are an airplane enthusiastic person like me. Get more details by visiting www.thearjuna.com or www.thearjuna.net. Thank you for watching. Talk to you next time. Stay safe, everyone.